Back in Lagos, it's time now for stories that are trending now, and Olamide Odekunle is standing by. Olamide, good morning.
Good morning, team. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Olamide.
Very well, thank you.
Indeed, it is sad what is happening in Benue, but it's good to see that we're continue to have dialogue about this.
Yeah. Yes.
I've got some good stories for you guys. I'll take it away.
Okay.
Good morning, Nigeria. As always, TVC has a finger on the pulse and our eye on the streets, and we do our best on a daily basis to bring you trending stories that are sparking conversation in Nigeria and indeed across the globe. We begin this segment today in Kogi State, where the Kogi State Police Command has arrested one suspect following a fresh attack on the family home of suspended Kogi Central Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. The suspect, identified as Jose Suberu, was apprehended on Tuesday at the scene of the attack in Ihima Okehi local government area. Now, according to a police spokesperson, SP William Aya, the man confessed to participating in the assault on Senator Natasha's family home, and a statement from the senator's media office on Wednesday alleged that he is a ritualist and a native of the community, and he has ties, apparently, to Natasha's political opponents. Now, he was armed with a cutlass and charms, and he was nearly lynched by locals before being rescued and detained by police. We know Natasha is Kogi's sweetheart. The assailants reportedly vandalized several of her home windows during the attack, and this is the second time that such an incident targeting Akpoti-Uduaghan's family home is happening. No arrests were made at the first time in April. This is very, very scary. When Senator Natasha was first suspended, one of the major concerns that she raised was that her security personnel were being taken away, and she said that this made her vulnerable to attacks from her political opponents. It left her open. Unfortunately, what she feared has come to pass. Something needs to be done about this. Whatever's going on in the courts or whatever should not affect her safety. Moving on now, the founder of the Dunamis International Gospel Center, Dr. Paul Enenche, has declined a 30 million naira cash donation from Kebbi State Governor, His Excellency Mohammed Nasir Idris, during a large evangelical crusade recently held in Kebbi State. Now, this money was publicly offered by a representative of the governor who was invited to address the crowd at the open air program. In a moment that was captured on video and is now going viral online, the representative announced the donation, stating that the governor was pleased to support the event and had released 30 million naira in cash, ready for immediate handover to Pastor Enenche. But Pastor Enenche politely declined this offer on the spot. Take a look at the exchange.
Whenever His Excellency made a donation, he don't leave without bringing that donation in cash. So before I leave this stage, I want to present that sum of 30 million naira in cash.
If there is anything like orphanage, if there is anything like that, at your discretion, please apply this amount of money to it. No. It will not be received. It will not be received.
As expected, Pastor Paul's decision or rejection of this money has caused a lot of conversation online, and many people are praising his stance as a demonstration of integrity and independence, especially amid concerns over bloodlines between religion and politics that often happen in Nigeria. Now, a lot of politicians in the past have tried to buy the pulpit. I'm not saying this is what the Kebbi State Governor was trying to do. It is a wonderful donation to try and help the reach of Pastor Paul. But Pastor Paul has made it clear to anybody in power at all that his altar is not for sale. Let's take a look at social media. At Queen says, donate 30 million naira to a crusader, and what did the highest scoring student in WAEC at Kebbi State get again? Is religion that will kill us. At Crypto Lover says, if a pastor does well, you will all still bash him. If they make a mistake, the same you all. Well, we all know that the devil is behind this to bring down the kingdom of God. God will always prevail. God bless you, Pastor Paul, for your kingdom work, and to all other genuine men and women of God. And finally, Ivo says, when you marry a good woman, the rejection started from the wife. Good, guys. As soon as they announced it in that video, I don't know if you guys could hear it, but she said, no. But team, I just very quickly, because we've got some juicy stories still coming of lots of them actually, I want to also touch about this rejection of this 30 million naira cash gift by Pastor Paul Enenche. It shows a level of integrity, but could he have accepted it to give to orphanages himself, or to expand his reach, perhaps?
First things first, I heard the wife say no. And the man saying, don't you have an orphanage or something like that to donate this money to? First things first, Dr. Paul, you're wise. When Madam says no, you don't say yes. All right. And number two, 30 million naira for Dr. Paul is not a very big amount of money. It's not, you know, and rejecting the money and also advising you use it, donate to one orphanage or the other in that state is something highly commendable. I really like that. And for Natasha, I don't know. When things like this happen to a politician, everybody believes it is politicized. QED.
Anyway, concerning the matter of Natasha, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, I hope that they get to the root of the matter before this is.
Absolutely.
The politics of this matter is taking too far because we are already counting down to 2027. So let it be nipped in the bud so we can all move on. And then to the matter of Dr. Paul Enenche, I commend what he has done. His wife, they know where they stand regarding this kind of issue. But first of all, I think that that donation shouldn't have been made public. They shouldn't have come on stage to say they have cash. We are not expected to be going around with such huge amounts of cash in Nigeria.
That's right.
So that was the first error. And then I like the fact that he had to make his stance clear. It's not because he is not getting the reach. When you talk about evangelism, you need monies to evangelize across the world. But he needed to make his stance clear. And where his church stand with regards to these kinds of monies. When you talk about consecration, there are a lot of things you cannot touch. And I believe that's where he's speaking from. So kudos to him.
I know they always say behind every great man is a powerful woman, and you can see that his wife is an up-straight woman, and I just love it. I tell people in the era that we've gotten to that a lot of pastors allegedly would want to take money before anything. To see a pastor uphold his integrity is just top-notch for me. And the number one question he asks is that, is there an orphanage? Like, there are people suffering. Like in Kebbi State, how are the children doing in Kebbi that you're taking 30 million naira to a church and you're taking it as cash? And the fact that they were even boasting saying it's not even a check, it's cash. I'm really happy with what he did. It's just showing that, no, it's true. It's just showing that Christianity is not all about that. It's not all about greed. You can see that he's content with what he has. And he has money. He's not a poor man. So 30 million cannot shake him. So that was a beautiful one from him. And also to the Natasha story, Senator Natasha, I just want there to be peace with that woman because it's always from one thing to another, one thing to another. We just want peace and tranquility, you know, with her.
I couldn't agree less with you, Rhea, on peace with Senator Natasha. But you know, Dr. Paul Enenche and Dr. Becky Enenche are people I personally love a lot. They have, carved a niche for themselves in this country. They are respected and they are loved. And they go about the country doing quite a number of crusades, medical outreaches, and several other ways they're reaching out to Nigerians across the country. And so perhaps if that money was donated on a different platform for a different cause, maybe, because going about doing what they do requires money. However, for, the government official to come on stage to make that kind of a public announcement, absolutely no. And it was good that Dr. Enenche and Becky said no. And that's just it.
Indeed, a great stance was taken. I concur. Thank you guys so much for your submissions. Moving on now. Just a year after the passing of elder statesman and former Ohaneze Ndigbo President General, Chief Engineer Dr. Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu, the details of his last will and testament have sparked controversy, particularly a clause that bars his widow from remarrying. Now, Chief Iwuanyanwu, who died on the 25th of July, 2024, at the age of 82, left behind significant assets reportedly spread across Abuja, Imo, and other parts of Nigeria, all of which were read and allocated on the 16th of June. Now, while the bulk of his estate was equitably shared among his 5 children, attention has zeroed in on a clause that directly affects his 37-year-old widow, Frances Chinonyerem Enwerem, who he married in 2013 at the age of 72, when she was just 26 years old. Their union produced 1 son. Now, according to this will, Frances is entitled to a portion of the late chief's estate, but only on the condition that she remains unmarried. Should she remarry, the document states that she will automatically forfeit her inheritance. The question now is this restriction patriarchal and punitive, especially considering the age difference and the fact that Frances was in her 20s when she married the then septuagenarian. It's obviously not unusual in some elite Nigerian families to use inheritance as a tool to control widows' choices after death. The question I want to ask is that why is a widow's freedom policed while a widower's freedom is guaranteed? If it was a man, they would tell him, you have to marry, you are a man, you must have somebody in your house. But because she's a girl, it's different. It's double standards if you ask me, but what do I know? Let's take a look at social media. At Oka Ewa says, it was a smart move. My late boss died, leaving about 37 billion in properties and cash for his wife and 5 children. 3 years after his death, the woman married another man and is now bearing the new husband's name. If only he had done something like this. Congrats to the happy couple. Amarachi says, that was the will of the dead. If I may ask, why should the woman married to such a great man even think of remarrying? And finally, multimedia producer says, this is a very selfish thing to do. Imagine this young, beautiful lady not able to remarry after losing her husband. No culture should support this kind of mentality. And I think that the family should hold a meeting and allow the lady to do what she wants. After all, the dead doesn't know what happens behind them. Moving on in the world of social media. Reality TV star and billionaire heir Kid Wire is under fire after launching a public donation campaign for victims of the recent Benue massacre, which left over 200 people dead. In a statement shared by his NGO, the Kid Wire Foundation, shared yesterday, Kid Wire appealed to Nigerians to give what they can, whether it's 500 naira, 5,000 or 500,000 naira, through his foundation to support grieving families in Yelawata and Dauduguma local government area, where we know that herdsmen attacked, killing scores and torching several homes and people. But people are questioning the optics of a wealthy celebrity known for flaunting luxury items and trips and lifestyle, now asking ordinary Nigerians, many of whom are struggling, to donate money. Was his request tone deaf and performative? And should he lead by example by first supporting the Yelawata victims with his own wealth? Or should this effort that he's making through his NGO be welcomed, considering that he is a high network and net worth individual? I think that charity begins at home. It would have been great to see him donate some money first, or, charity should begin at home, especially when your home is a mansion. Let's take a look at social media. Ajibu Sonye says, Kid Wire gave white money $30,000. This 30 figure is, we like $30,000 just for cooking jollof rice. But now he's asking the public to donate so he can help the good people of Benue. If you can drop $30K casually, why do you need public funds to help your own people? We must put in consideration that we also don't know what he's doing behind the scenes. But Oluremi Sama says, Kid Wire's personal money is for flaunting, lifestyle, and boasting. But for charity, he needs donations from people he claims are poorer than him. Hilarious. And finally, this person says, this guy wants to scam Nigerians. He has money, his father has money, and he wants to use this opportunity to scam Nigerians. He opened a GoFundMe account instead of going to Benue to sympathize with them. He's in a foreign country soliciting for funds. Scammers everywhere. Oof. Moving on in international news, our eye is on Uganda, where veteran Ugandan politician and second deputy prime minister, General Moses Ali, has been officially nominated to contest the National Resistance Movement Party primaries for Adjumani West County. But his frail appearance has raised a lot of concern about his fitness for public office. The 86-year-old, who is one of the longest-serving figures in Ugandan politics, remains seated in the video you are watching in his Prado SUV throughout this nomination exercise that was held on Tuesday at the Electoral Commission office in Kampala. Now, he was visibly weak, as you can see, and struggling to breathe, but he did not address the media or step out to greet his supporters. Some are saying because he can't, because he's too old. The Electoral Commission chair approached the vehicle, received the nomination papers, and endorsed them in his office, and returned to this man's car to declare him duly nominated. Moses Ali has had a long and very storied career, from finance minister under Idi Amin to the rebel commander of the Uganda National Rescue Front to senior roles in the NRM government under President Museveni. But currently, he holds the rank of general in the Uganda People Defense Forces. Of course, his public frailty, as you can see, has now ignited debate. Should age and visible health struggles disqualify someone for running from office, or does experience still outweigh physical strength in Uganda or Africa's political theater? This is very interesting. Some people were making the comparison to Joe Biden. I don't know. Let's take a look at social media, but he does not look well, and I worry. Justina says, how embarrassing. African countries will never be taken seriously on the world stage. And Kus de Klerk says, I am not a racist, but Africa is not yet ready to be led by blacks. I love how the both of you, just because of Uganda, just lumped us up into one Africa monolith. But team, let's talk about this. This young woman, her husband has said, you're not going to marry anybody after me. It's not going to happen. What do we, yesterday in the group chat, we touched on it a little bit. It was a hot topic, but we haven't fully chopped it up. The Iwayan's will didn't say the woman shouldn't remarry. It says if you remarry, you forfeit the property. So the choice is yours. Simple. But the optics of it is a little bit, I wouldn't do that, but that's his choice. It's his property, it's his wife. So, I don't want to get involved in family problems. Let me just put it that way. Kid Wire. Good idea to want to help the people of Benue State, but it would have been a better idea if you had come in and made an initial donation and asked Nigerians to join you so that they will share in the blessings, you know. But doing it from wherever, I don't know the country, and you are giving us an account number, it's marks of it's television, so let me leave it there. And you asked the question, should age and health be considered for anybody that wants to run for public office? My personal answer is a big yes, very big yes. We need healthy people, you know, because the office of a president is the kind of office where you don't have time to go to work and time to close. It's a 24/7 kind of thing. You need a strong, healthy person that's mentally fit, physically fit, and so on to sit in that office. So, what's his name? Moses Ali. Well, I don't know how Ugandans feel about you, but you wouldn't get my vote if I was a Uganda.
Perhaps he's trying to fulfill a lifelong dream, but unfortunately, this dream is fading from my perspective, and he should just let it slide. He can act in advisory role, but on this, let him just sit it out. Talking about the late Iwayan's will and his young wife. It is often said, till death do us part, but as it is right now, the death is not, parting anything. But let's look at it critically. I think he wants to preserve his legacy. He worked hard to build what he has built, and he's trying to preserve his legacy. And also, he's also perhaps trying to protect her from those who might want to just take advantage of her at the end of the day. So if she would sacrifice that for anybody, the man would know that he is worth it. He too will know that she is worth it. You can let it go. So let's get married. We'll build our lives and all of it. So I think it's protection.
Well, nobody loves poverty, so I'm definitely sure that she's not going to, just accept to forfeit everything. But I think that, may his soul rest in peace, but I think that he's being selfish because really, you are dead. And the thing is that he's trying to be smart, but the woman can have a companion and she can still give all the money to the companion. So if we're talking about legacy, I think that is just too much, You say, guy man, you can always have smart guy man in different ways. So she can still have a companion. I think that was too much. I didn't find that story funny. I think it was extreme, for him to say that. And then moving on to Kidwaya, Olamide, I don't know if it's just me, but at every point that I've seen Kidwaya has given somebody money, I don't believe it, honestly speaking. Maybe it's just me. Because I always feel like it's for social media. Because I'm surprised that Kidwaya will come and say, Nigerians should bring 500,000, 50, is it 15 naira or be 50,000 he put there? Like, what are you trying to say? Like, why don't you give it? You claim that you gave white money. So you can give white money for cooking jollof, but you cannot give people
what I expected was a pledge of money from him before
he did what?
requesting.
He did what?
What I expected was a pledge of what you're saying.
Exactly. You know, that's what he should have done. So even him saying that people should donate just makes me feel like I have been right all along to say that all the money he's been given is eye service. And also to the Ugandan president, I know that power is sweet. I love power a lot, but you should know when to just quit.
Quickly, Nelson, in 20 seconds.
She married this man when she was 26 years old. Frankly speaking, you knew at the time this man was going to leave before you did. And so it is now your choice to stay or to go. Full stop.
Finish.
Kid Wire, well, anybody will give you money, that is their business. Mine ain't coming to you. And for this our wonderful man in Uganda who is trying to become the president, sir, I think it's time you sit back and be a grandfather of your nation and donate.
Thank you, Olamide, for those stories.
You're welcome.
Interesting they were. But as it is now, we need to wrap up our conversation here. But let's let you know that the views and reactions of all our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Up next is Your View with